Today we remember those Puerto Ricans who lost their lives, their heroism, and their sacrifices. The VA department has listed that over 100,000 Puerto Rican veterans served in wars in our country, and more than 1,200 of them died while serving the United States. We remember their heroism. We remember their sacrifices. Puerto Ricans on the island live as second-class citizens, yet they still serve at double the rate of those on the mainland in the military because of patriotism, because of their belief in service. And in November, Puerto Ricans spoke clearly. They voted in favor of statehood in a high turnout general election in a simple yes or no ballot. In response, I joined Jennifer Gonzalez-Colon in filing the Puerto Rico Statehood Admissions Act, which would create one last binding election. And if a majority of Puerto Ricans voted yes, they'd be automatically admitted as a state after a brief transition period. This is, after all, the same process that dozens of states went through over the years. While we know this bill has both Resident Commissioner Gonzalez-Colon and my name on it, it's Puerto Rico's bill. It will be Florida Ricans that will help us get there, help lift us up. I'm proud to say we have most of the delegation on the bill, Democrat and Republican. All the Democrats, most of the Republicans in the House. I'm heartened to see members of Senator Scott's office here, and we're hoping that both Senator Rubio as well will co-sponsor the bill. We know they believe in statehood in their hearts. Now is the time. I'm pleased to announce we had our first hearing already on this bill in the Natural Resources Committee, a committee that I and Commissioner Gonzalez-Colon serve on. This was the first hearing on a Puerto Rico statehood admissions bill in the history of Congress. We had others that talked about status, but this was the first hearing entertaining a bill. Now we await the U.S. Department of Justice's analysis of our bill and of a convention bill. And then we will push for that vote in the Natural Resource Committee that I expect to happen this fall. On the day of that hearing, we had the majority leader in the House, Steny Hoyer, a longtime ally, co-sponsor it. That is critical because after we get it out of committee, we needed to get to the floor of the House of Representatives. For any of you who've seen that committee, you'll know that Republicans and Democrats came together. 2/3 of the time was spent talking about how critical statehood was, how there had been an election, and how we need to honor our democracy because after the people vote, action has to happen. And we will continue that bipartisan tradition as we saw here today and will continue to see. And we will continue until we have a vote on the House floor. And I am convinced by my knowledge of the supporters that we have already on the bill and otherwise, that if the vote was held today in the House, it would pass. This is where Florida, again, will play a critical role. Our senators, both here in Florida and Pennsylvania and several other states, could be key leaders in this, joining co-sponsors like Senator Padilla from California, Senator Heinrich, and others. This is what our task is here in Florida, and this is our task across the nation, to help us continue down this path to a vote in the House and a vote in the Senate. And then finally, Puerto Ricans on the island will get their final say. This is about democracy. If after we pass this bill they vote no, then you know what? We all tried our best. This is rooted in the foundation of the will of the people. But I think we know what's going to happen. Once they're given an absolute ironclad promise that this will be the last election, that this one will count, that this one will matter, I believe they will vote yes, as they have done several times before. On this Memorial Day, we must do more. We must honor those Bucaneers, the thousands who died with action. We must ensure their sacrifices were not in vain. We will admit Puerto Rico as a state to the Union, and viva los Puerto Ricaneers.